Rob Davidson is the CEO of Cure Pharmaceuticals, whose world headquarters is right up the road in Ventura, Oxnard. And there's lots of life sciences and healthcare out there. But Rob's company has something that every company would like to have, and that's a totally unique market. Tell me what that means and how can I get one?
Okay, so yes, absolutely. So what we really do at Cure Pharmaceutical is we develop better ways to deliver medications to patients more effectively, more efficacious, right? And with the ability to really get into the distribution channels that are difficult to reach, we have lightweight, delivery systems called thin film technology, oral thin films. If you're familiar with Listerine strips, it looks a little bit like that, but there's a lot of technology behind it. It allows us to deliver medications, flavor the medications, deliver it through the sublingual cavity or through the GI effectively, lightweight shipping, no cold chain distribution necessary. So if you imagine, Tracy, emerging markets that, have difficulty with cold chain distribution, we saw that at COVID with vaccines. We can eliminate that, and we can eliminate potentially the need for some injectables by utilizing our technology. So it is unique in that approach. We don't develop molecules. We just make the molecule more effective by how we deliver it.
I was fortunate to hear the story of where this idea hit you. I know it happened in Asia.
It did. It actually did. So the original idea of utilizing thin film as a delivery technology did come out of Japan, believe it or not. I think I was traveling. I saw the film, being utilized for breath freshening right before Listerine came out. Japan was the birthplace of thin film for flavoring foods, believe it or not. They put it on their foods and they would use flavors and spices in the film. You'd microwave it and it would heat it or it would infuse into the food. So I looked at that and I said, well, that's maybe a good idea for medications. Why not look at that? Because obviously it's a flavored system. It's lightweight, portable. You don't have to swallow like pills. A lot of people have difficulty swallowing pills. When you look at the pediatric population and geriatric population and people with neurological issues, they can't swallow pills. So, or they have a difficult time swallowing pills. So we decided to come out with an active, tried our first active. We did a benzocaine oral thin film. We were the first company in the world to put a drug active on a film. We did chloroseptic, if you remember that older brand, chloroseptic. We did that for both the pediatric patient population and the geriatric patient population as the first product utilizing thin film. But the morphosis of that, going, basically getting into become a platform technology, really had to do with Africa. I was traveling in Africa, doing some volunteer work there, and I was with my family. We were in Africa, and you see a lot of malaria cases, especially pediatric. And I was talking to some of the doctors and clinicians there, and they were given these two powders, like big cans of powder, and they had to mix it in water, two of these actives in water, and then give it to the patient. But they had to give it to the patient really quick because the actives interacted in a bad way, right? So it degraded. But that was one problem. So you had to take it and do it really quick. The other problem is you couldn't find clean drinking water, right? So you could find a can of Coke or Pepsi more effectively than you could find pure water in some of these areas in Africa. So they were mixing it in what they can find, soda, juices, things like that. And again, the actives were very sensitive, so they're killing the active, and the patient's not getting better, and kids are losing their lives. Taking medications that the way you're delivering is not effective. Also, the weight and logistics of powders, right, are a lot different. So we decided to develop a platform technology to handle some of these really difficult, medications, both in distribution-wise as well as delivery-wise, and really protecting the actives from degrading and delivering it more effectively. So that was kind of the, if you will, the launch pad for our OTF technology.
It's such a breakthrough. I mean, what a breakthrough opportunity. And nobody had really done it up until that point, except for delivering flavor.
Right, exactly. Just breath freshener, right? That was it. Yeah. And it's not easy. That's probably why, because there's a lot of technology that you have to employ into the product to really protect the actives, to facilitate delivery into the body more effectively. So it's not just putting it on top of a film; it's actually embedded in the film itself and protected by stabilizers and permeation enhancers, and so lots of things you do to make it work. You know.
So now, I mean, you have cure strips for pharmaceuticals, for nutraceuticals, for
Sure.
wellness. Kind of what guides the strategy and the product pipeline?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So need first, right? I mean that's really what guides us. I'll give you an example. We work with a hospital called Cincinnati Children's Hospital. They came to us and they said, "Look, we need vitamin D. We can't get our patients, these cancer patients, bone marrow transplantation patients, we can't get their vitamin D levels up. And it's a problem for us because vitamin D is essential to increasing your immune efficiencies, right? Your immune function. It helps build T cells and NK cells, all the cells you need for your immune system to be effective. So they tried everything. They tried liquids. They tried, gavage. They tried, drinks, foods, putting it in feeding tubes. They couldn't get their vitamin D levels up. Yeah, it was crazy. So they came to us, and our team, developed a vitamin D oral thin film that actually you can deliver one dose a week and basically very effectively. It gets into the blood, into the fat cells. It depots into the fat cells, and then it leaches out over time. So your vitamin D is gradually increasing, and you're getting the vitamin D you need to rebuild the immune system. So we did a published study with them. It was very effective. 100% of the patient cohort was able to get their vitamin D levels up to normal and above, and 100% of those patients survived the post-op and post treatment, which it's not the treatment that kills them; it's actually the lack of immune system and the nosocomial illnesses from hospitals. Those are the opportunistic infections that are in hospitals. Going and attacking their bodies, and they have nothing to fight it with. So we were very proud of that study. It's published. We continue to work with them on other projects, but that's born out of a need. And now we have a vitamin D product that we sell in the market. So it's
Is
just,
that a standard of care that will be, I mean,
it
shouldn't we be
is.
able to buy those now at the drugstore? I mean,
Yeah, so we sell it directly into Cincinnati Children's Hospital. They have access, their patients have access to buy it online. And we really don't brand our own products. So it
okay.
comes out of, if a company comes to us and they need it, they will actually buy it from us and distribute it under their brand. But we are working with pharmaceutical companies with vitamin D. So it's definitely something that they're looking at, and there's a need for in the market.
So are there any other any other kind of fun products that you're
Working on? Yeah,
working on? Yeah.
yeah, we're working on some oral vaccines, to be able to deliver effective vaccines without injection, for especially emerging markets like hepatitis B, which is still prevalent in, Asia, India, Africa. And the reason it's prevalent, first of all, people don't like needles. We all know that. That's a no-brainer. But the second component is what we talked about earlier, the cold chain distribution, right? Cold chain distribution is not readily available in emerging markets or third world countries. So we're able to, protect the active, the vaccine, and hopefully treat the patient without having to inject and without having cold chain distribution. And we're doing that for other viruses. We're doing that for even for diabetes. We're working on a project and weight loss. GLP-1s are a big deal right now, peptides, but you have to inject them. So yeah, we have a lot of fun projects.
So tell me about the journey from private startup to going public and then taking the company private again,
Yeah.
which is something that a lot of companies have experienced. Tell us how, why, and how it's turned out for you.
Yeah, yeah. The original thought process for us going public was obvious, is to raise capital, right, and increase market value based on your IP portfolio technology, which did work for a while. And we were able to get funding that way. However, COVID changed things, right? You probably know that. It changed things for a lot of people. So COVID really, first of all, people weren't working, so we weren't able to advance certain things. We did pay our employees, but they weren't at work. We kept our employees paid, which is not easy, right? We're a small company, a small pharmaceutical company, but because of that, we really weren't able to get the capital that we needed to grow the company. So what we did is we looked for partners to buy us out of the public company and take it private. And we were very successful in that. We did that a couple of years ago. I think it's been 2 years now, 2.5 years, somewhere around there. And we've actually pivoted the business quite a bit from, we have an R&D side of the business, but we also now are really looking at the telemedicine play as well, direct to consumers, direct to patients, personalizing their medications, personalizing health and wellness. Because, one thing COVID taught me is we're more of a nation of sick care rather than health care. So I really want to be a part of that and at the forefront of health and wellness, more on a preventative side, even like nutraceuticals. It doesn't always have to be medications, the foods you eat. So we're really pivoted a lot to that side of the business.
Tariffs are going to be tough on cars, right? We know that today.
Yes.
Wood, chips. Is it going to be challenging for you? Is there anything in the pharmaceutical industry or Cure in particular that's you're concerned about?
It can be absolutely because we do most of our raw materials and APIs from the U.S., but a lot of the packaging components,
Oh,
yeah, the secondary
the
components,
plastic.
yeah, plastic, even to cardboards and paper and stuff like that. That's going to be expensive because, again, there's tariffs now, right? So that's going to increase price. And the reason why we bought them there is because they're the ones that manufacture that. There's not a lot of manufacturers in the U.S. for that. So you're limited. Now you're limited source supply. Now the price is going to go even higher. So you created a bigger demand for that. So it does concern me a bit on the tariffs for that. But we'll figure out how to pivot on that if we have to.
No, I know you will. It'll be good. So for 2025, how has it started out for you? Will 2025 be better or worse for Cure? It's got to be better. I know you're an optimist, but
Compared to what year? They're definitely better than COVID. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we're, from 24 to 20. I think 25 is going to be a great year for us, actually.
So thanks for this and good luck in keeping
Yeah.
California in the front ranks of innovation and hope.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to
It's
speak.
been such a pleasure and we've learned a lot today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy.